Hello and welcome to Neverwinter with Arrogant. In this video I'd like to go over the best boots for tanking within Neverwinter. As well as that, these boots have one of the most unique transmute effects of any boots within game. You will leave a magical trail behind you as you walk through any zone. On top of this, these boots are actually one of the best for PvP. However, not many of you do PvP, so I'm not really going to focus on that. These boots are obtained from tier 1 hunts in Avernus, and thus they are relatively easy to obtain. However, I still will run you through the process of how to actually obtain them, how to obtain the lure to fight the boss, and then go ahead and show you guys me beating up the boss and then actually getting these boots. Now, which are these boots? Well, these boots are the Wisps of the Shadow Demon. If we go ahead and actually look at the bonus that they give us, called Ghosted, whenever you're struck by a critical hit, you will receive a 10% chance to gain 20% maximum HP and 3% defense. If you watch my hunt video, I did mention these as being the best in slot boots for tanking. Now, these are pretty easy to obtain as they're from tier 1 hunts, so you won't have to do a whole lot of grinding. It may take you an hour or two still to obtain these. If you're more unlucky, it may take you longer. Now first, I'd like to go over the actual bonus of the boots and why it's good, and then I'll go over to how to obtain them. So first up, this bonus. Yes, it has that chance to basically increase your hit points by a whole amount, that being 20%, whenever you're critically hit. Now, as a tank, you normally would think, right, I would have capped critical avoidance. I'll switch over to my proper tank build here, and yes, you can see my critical avoidance is completely capped, even for the Zariel Master, which has those 40,000 ratings, thus me needing that 105,000 due to me having Divinity and the boss having a base of 5k crit. Anyway, with me having maxed out critical avoidance so that the boss can never critically hit me, meaning you'd think these boots are useless then. No, the catch is these boots can also proc when you're critically healed. Now, I am unsure if this is completely intentional that this can occur, but currently this is how it works, and it's been working like this for some time now. So I'm going to go and jump into a pack of mobs, and with my critical avoidance only being there 73k, you should see this bonus Ghosted proccing, and my HP should be increased by a whole amount. First up, I'm going to dismiss my companion, and that way I have even less critical avoidance and she won't kill them before they have a chance. You can see one of them critically hit me there, it didn't proc. Received another crit there, it still didn't proc. And there we go, we obtained a crit, and you can see I have 808,000 hit points, and this having the ghosted effect there, lasting for total of that 10 seconds. And there, we're dead. Let's go ahead and summon an augment companion, and we should be able to survive a whole lot longer. You can see my HP being there at 659k. There we go, we gained the bonus again. I'm at 872k with the ghosted effect up here. So that's the basics of the effect. You receive 20% of your maximum HP for that 10 seconds upon receiving a critical hit. But again, it's only a 10% chance that this will proc. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you it when I'm running the trial Zariel. It will still proc even though I have 100% capped critical avoidance. So here I am in Zariel Master, and if we go ahead and look at this clip here, you can see I opened my character sheet and you can see my HP being at there 1,079,500 HP, and that is with one skull. Then if we go ahead and look a little bit later, you can also see the effect just procs there on my buff bar, the ghosted effect. And you can see when I open my character sheet again, I'm at 1,433k. And this is still with a skull. I would have probably around 1.5 million HP there. And there you can see I have my fully critical avoidance being there above the 95,000 cap for Zariel. I have used some of my divinity and thus it's down lower than my 106k when I'm full divinity. But I have not received a critical hit. It's just I have received a critical heal. If we go back there, you can see I received that 362,000 critical heal, and then that procs the ghosted effect up on my buff bar there. And so there you can see why the boots are really good for tanking. That extra survivability you gain through gaining that maximum HP can be a huge buff, especially when you get it at the right time. Otherwise, it's just good for increasing that amount of stamina of your shield, and also, just that HP. Unfortunately, it does not heal you the amount that it increases your HP by, but other than that, it just gives the ability for the healer to heal you up a whole lot more. But I would assume it proportionally scales with the current HP and your maximum HP. Let's say you gain this buff when you're at full HP, then you would essentially, having healed that amount, you won't just increase your maximum and not your current. Before we go into the details of how to actually obtain the boots, first thing I'd like to say is, these boots have one of the coolest transmutes possible in the game. Not in actually how they look on your feet, but how they look when you run around. So let's go ahead and see. Right, so here I am in the inspect mode, and when you run around, it leaves those kind of doppels on the ground after you. It also makes a funny sound when you also run around. It's just really cool. It leaves a trail of those shadows and this kind of doppel effect on the ground as you jump. If you jump, it does the same, but there you have it, leaving a trail of magical stars behind you. Not sure exactly what to call them, but this effect is just really cool. Overall, I believe they are one of the coolest boots in the game right now as a transmute. So even if you're not a tank and you're just, let's say, a healer or a DPS and you just want some cool boots, they also have that kind of ghostly effect around your feet as you just stand there, much like those boots of Misty Step. Combining those with these boots can be really cool. Let's proceed on to how you can actually obtain these boots. So, to obtain these boots, you will have to acquire a hunt lore for the Shadow Demon. If we look at this quartermaster here, you can see it will be this lore here, the Tendrils of Shadow. So, in order to craft this, you will need your gore-covered chains, and you will also need your Shattered Jaw Trap. Now, in order to obtain your Shattered Jaw Trap, you will have to be killing Searing Hezrau. Now, in order for these Searing Hezrau to spawn, you will have to actually kill normal Hezrau in the scab. And then there are a multitude of different positions which these Searing Hezrau will spawn in, each of which I will show you just later on. Let's go ahead and find us some of those normal Hezrau, and let's get us one of these Searing Hezrau to spawn. We are just coming out of the Citadel portal, and yes, there's a Searing Hezrau right here. This is one of the spawn points. We go ahead and kill it, and we have a chance to drop that trap. We do not obtain it. The chance is probably around 20-25%. So, what I like to do is I like to go around in a circle, killing all of the mobs, all of them, because there is a chance that a Hezrau will spawn in pretty much all of these mob locations. So when one doesn't spawn, nice shard of empowerment, then you want to kill the mobs that are there in order for one to be able to spawn. And these are just the normal Hezrau. You need to kill the normal Hezrau in order for the Searing Hezrau to spawn. So we go ahead and we kill a bunch of mobs, and we kill one of the normal Hezrau. Then we go ahead and we check all the given locations. What I like to do is just go around in a circle checking all the spots. So a Hezrau can spawn in this location just here on the map. Then we go around the corner. Another one can spawn just here by this rock. We keep continuing on. We go around this corner, and another one can spawn just on this little ridge up here. And we go all the way up here. Another can spawn just where you saw me kill one, up here. And then we have a final spot just around back down here, over by this little knob here, between generally the two groups of mobs here. And finally, we have one back the way we came, just around and up this slope here. And yes, we do get one of the Hezra. Now you're gonna have to do this multiple times because you can see I go ahead and we kill it, and yeah, we don't get that trophy. So we do this multiple and multiple of times until we finally obtain a trophy. Then we go ahead and we obtain that lure and we go to the spawn site. Now of course, to actually craft the lure, you're gonna need to have one of those gore covered chains, so you'll have to go and farm a few of those mains and then get those infected mains to drop you those chains. And I have a separate video on that, you can go ahead and watch it. However, there are a good few more of those spawn locations than what I mentioned in the video by now because they made a new update. Anyway, we travel over to where we can summon that shadow demon, and it's just through here into the upper section of Avernus here, kind of your starting zone. Then it's just around the corner here to this platform. Ideally, you want to kill off these annoying mobs before you go ahead and summon the boss, otherwise they will just interrupt you and yeah, they'll be in the way. So with them dealt with, we finally go ahead and we spawn in the demon. And he spawns in Scale the Black. And yeah, he's basically just one of those shadow demons. Now, what you do want to watch out for is, yeah, he can hit actually pretty hard and consistently. At one point he goes invisible, he spawns these imps which will attack you. They're relatively squishy, and you'll just have to find where he is and he'll appear back up. And yeah, then you continue attacking him. And that's basically his mechanics rotation. Nothing too hard, however, if you want to play it cautious, you might want to bring a friend or two along to help you out. I can finish him off relatively easy just by myself, however it takes a bit of time and making sure that I block most of those hits rather than taking all the damage. So we go ahead and kill him. It gives us 200 Zariel favor, and the first time we kill him he drops us that Shadow Demon Claw, the trophy needed to craft up the second tier of hunt lures. The second time we go ahead and kill him, we get more of that Zariel favor, and this time all we get is a black opal. Fortunately for us, the last time we kill him, or the third time we kill him, we finally drop, well, a blood ruby and those wisps of the shadow demon. Those lovely boots. So here we have the boots. The item level they have on them is that 1230, just 5 higher than the gear you'd get from like Valenhas, and that little bit lower than the Lion Guard gear. So that's basically it. That's the video. That's how you obtain those best in slot boots for tanking. Instead of using these boots, yes, arguably you could use boots that give you a bit more power and thus more, yes, damage and therefore aggro. If you need that, then by all means use those boots. I just like to use these boots as, yes, they have the potential to give you a whole load more survivability. However, it's relatively annoying that it's only every so often that you'll gain this benefit, and therefore you cannot rely on it to successfully tank anything. It's just one of those nice things that will buff you every now and again. Other than these boots, there's no other real boots that's going to help you a whole lot. The only real boots I could say that is going to help you much more in tanking is those heel cracker boots you'd get from Undermountain Ute, giving you that 3% less damage taken. However, the sacrifice you have to make in HP can just make it ending up being not so worth it. And especially that reduction in movement speed can just be such a pain. Anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this was relatively clear on how to obtain these boots. And I guess if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing. And we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.